What if Jack the Ripper was never caught, because he was never human to begin with? When an American historian unearths a cursed journal buried deep beneath the bloody streets of Whitechapel, she unknowingly awakens a demon that once wore a man's face and slit throats in the fog. Now the Ripper walks again, no longer bound by time, no longer seeking justice. Only souls. He was never just a killer, he was a curse, and someone just read his name aloud. Ghost Stories, Jack the Ripper, the Demon of London. They say evil never dies, it only waits for the right moment to return. Emily Walker, a 32-year-old American historian from Boston, had traveled to London for a research project on 19th century crime. She was fascinated by unsolved mysteries, and none gripped her more than the case of Jack the Ripper. One rainy afternoon, while combing through rubble near the ruins of old Whitechapel, she unearthed something buried under brick and dust. An old blood-stained leather journal sealed with iron clasps. That night, alone in her rented flat, Emily cracked open the book. It wasn't just a diary. It was a confession, filled with grotesque details of every Ripper murder. The final pages, however, chilled her blood. This flesh was once man, now demon, sealed in ink and word. Speak the verse, and I am reborn. Emily had already read the verse aloud, unaware of its meaning. The temperature in the room dropped. The lights flickered, then burst. Shadows twisted in the corners. Her reflection in the mirror seemed to smirk while she trembled. Panicked, she called Detective Mark Allen, a 40-something American stationed at the U.S. Embassy. He dismissed her at first, until he arrived and saw the deep scratch marks on her walls, and the black soot forming the shape of a man in a top hat. As they debated whether to burn the journal or take it to authorities, they heard heavy footsteps outside the flat. Mark opened the door to find no one. When he turned back, Emily was gone. No scream, no struggle. Only the open diary on the floor, pages blank, and the sound of slow, wet breathing behind him. Mark spun around. Standing there was a man impossibly tall, dressed in Victorian garb, eyes as dark as coal, and a long blade twitching in his hand. His lips curled into a smile not meant for any human face. "Thank you," the thing whispered, "for reading my name." At dawn, Mark was found unconscious beside the Thames River, clutching the diary. There was no sign of Emily, no sign of struggle, only a faint trail of blood leading into the fog. Since then, strange murders have resurfaced across London. Throats slit clean, no fingerprints, no motive. Locals whisper of the Ripper's return. Some evils are not buried. Some names should never be spoken aloud. Because Jack was never just a man, he was something far worse. Thank you, dear audience, for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to get notified of our latest videos.